Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters. Salam alaikum to my Muslim brothers, and Kabir greetings to all my fellow Christian citizens of Nigeria. I don't want this to look like kind of official video or something. I just want us to talk and reason together like like-minded youth that want the best for our country. My name is Prince Sami Adeleke, founder and president of Young Christian Foundation International. On Facebook, everybody knows me as Prince Sami Adeleke, Black Local on Instagram and Black Local on Twitter. So I actually have been receiving some kind of comments on some of my posts recently, and most of those comments are actually coming from my friends who share different views about my political affiliations. Not really that they are worried about me gunning for Buhari's second term, but I just want us to share this view. I am not trying to make anyone feel like like APC is better than PDP, or one political party is better than this, or one aspirant is better than this. The truth of the matter is that we know the truth. In Nigeria, the presidential race is strictly between the PDP presidential candidate, which is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and the incumbent president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is Bubu, as you always call him, but President Mohammadu Buhari. Now, there is who is Buhari actually? One thing that I actually want us to, I don't want to go back to things that we know how we got this to this stage. A lot of analysts, a lot of political commentators have said a lot of things about this past, the 16 years of PDP. I am not trying to go into that. I just want to pick from the events that are actually of the day, the events of the day. Now, Buhari, let's look at who is Buhari. In 2015, everybody got tired of the kind of activities of the government appointees and ministers and all those people that were actually working with Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Jonathan is a very good man. The only problem he had is that he's not a good manager. He's a good man, as in I can say he's a good man, but he was unable to cope with the kind of people that he worked with. So a lot of things were happening. I happened to be working with the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers at that time, and a lot of things happened, and everybody was like, oh, we can't go like this, we need to change. So the slogan change came, and everybody was like, this is change, let's change. Now everybody began to look at, oh, maybe when Buhari comes, he's going to make Nigeria just the best country in the world. All of a sudden, dollar is going to just crash like that from 197 to become 1 to 1 with Naira, and everything is just going to just happen like that. You know, and to be very honest with us, it is not, nobody can perform that magic. Nobody. Even if Obama come to Nigeria to be president for a few days or even for 10 years, he would resign, or he became as corrupt as any other person could be as president of Nigeria. You understand? But the point I'm trying to drive home here is that Buhari is not our savior. Get that? He is not our savior. The only reason why people like me and some other like-minded youth voted for Buhari was that Buhari will not steal our money. Take it to the bank. Till today, I can tell you, despite all the propaganda, all these stories about a Buhari relative bought shares in so bank, they do this, they did that, all those things happening, most of them are propagandas. Buhari knew from the beginning, when he knew this country, he knows who he actually up against. Most times, people expect him to come to organize a press conference and begin to clarify certain issues in the media. Like, for example, Nnamdi Kanu just came from nowhere and just said that the man occupying the Aso Rock is not Buhari, that Buhari is dead, that the man in Aso Rock is Aminu Jubril from Sudan or something. He began to tell us the story of a particular diplomat that was killed in Sudan. He sold the lie to some people who are gullible. But if you understand the process that it takes to clone someone, if you want to clone a 73-year-old man, the process may also take 73 years to clone him to become who, to look like the person. So are you telling me that they've been putting this together for the past 73 years? So cloning is not possible. But most of us bought the lie. That is to tell you the desperation of a particular ruling caucus that do not like the kind of thing that Buhari is doing. I'm not disagreeing with you that there is hunger in the land. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that life is difficult. I am not disputing that. I am not disputing that the situation in our country right now is something that could make us want to go back to our vomit. I'm not disputing that. But I want to ask us a question. If you, as a person, have to invest your life savings and your gratuity together, you want to invest it or you want to keep it with someone, will you choose a thief to keep it with? Will you, something you've worked all your life that matters a lot to you? You can't. Now, Buhari is not a good orator. Debate, he boycotted debate, is this and that. He doesn't talk like every other person. He's not eloquent. Don't forget, leadership is not about being eloquent. You can be eloquent and be a very bad leader. You can be a sweet talker and you won't be able to achieve or to formulate a very workable policy to drive the economy. If you look at Nigeria today, I can bet you, after all, I've experienced other countries and I've listened to their history. No country today that is among the best economy in the world had it sweet and smooth when they started. The citizen paid price. What I'm telling you today is that Nigeria, we are on the right track. Believe me. One of the reasons why I always tell my proteges and my godsons and daughters that they should vote for Buhari for the second term is because, number one, Buhari will not steal the money. If you look at our foreign reserve today, it's about $43 billion today. And when he came there, let's look at some statistics. When Goodluck Ebele Jonathan took over in 2009 or thereabout, there was 45 or 43 or 45 or 46 billion dollars in our foreign reserve. When Jonathan was leaving, it was 21 billion that he left. So the account depleted by half of it. Half of the foreign reserve depleted. Despite the fact that Nigeria was making huge income from crude oil. That was the period we had what we refer to as oil boom. What happened to it? We could have had all these rail projects that they started and they gave contract to people and swallowed the money. There was corruption everywhere. What happened? But within 3.5 years, Buhari saved. Many people, Obi Ezekwe, one of their presidential candidates, Okonjo-Iweala said, he advised them to save, but they didn't. Jonathan did not have savings policy. They didn't have this saving custom. They didn't save. They were just spending. Look at how many individuals. Look at Dasuki. Look at all those things. I don't want to bore you with all those stories. We know that. We know all those stories. What I'm trying to say is that Buhari is not our savior. Agreed. But do you know that he could be the link between the past, the corrupt past, the dilapidated past that we are not proud of, things that has made our country become one of the most insecure. The country, the incidents that have made us the emergence of Boko Haram. Don't forget that Boko Haram and herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen, didn't start during Buhari. They started long ago, before Buhari. And if you look at it this time around, to be very honest with you, Boko Haram cannot even call themselves Boko Haram now. They are calling themselves ISWAP, that they are affiliated to ISU or something. Now, so you can see, look at what is happening today. Power has increased, power generation has increased. If you have not been enjoying it in your area, it doesn't mean some other people have not been enjoying it. There are reports of people, go online, you see people telling you that we had light like this, like that. I have friends who left this place to Nigeria sometimes ago, and they will tell me that since they came to Nigeria, they've been enjoying uninterrupted power supply. It's just like you put a drop of oil on water. It is not every part of the water that we express that oil immediately. It will spread. We only need to be consistent. If we say, okay, let's vote, it is unthinkable. If you are not in a state of amnesty, you can't think of voting Atiku. Atiku has said so many things recently. I will enrich my friends. Is it a sin that my friend becomes rich? It is a sin. I will sell an NPC. When you sell an NPC and you combine these two statements, I will sell an NPC and I will enrich my friends. You that you're listening to me, if they sell an NPC and he enriches his friends, are you among the friends as he's going to enrich? How will the sharing of the fund touch your family, your future son and daughter? How will it? That. And then, when you're talking about Nigeria, there's no way you will not talk about Obasanjo. You know, he was instrumental to the installation of this present regime. You understand? Because in Yoruba land, we have this custom of respecting elders. In 2003, I remember that the Action Congress did not have a presidential candidate, a formidable one, and Afenifere and some Yoruba leaders told all of us that, okay, let's vote for Obasanjo because he's a Yoruba man and he's also a president and this and that. And all Yoruba gone for Obasanjo, and it affected our state. PDP took over almost all the state except Lagos State because we rallied around him, because of his, we look at him as our son. But look at the incident that came after. Obasanjo, if you look at Obasanjo very well, recently he came out to tell us that he has endorsed Atiku to become the next president. Is he the one to decide for us? No. What integrity does he have? He forgot that he wrote a book, My Watch. In that book, he said a lot of things. He assassinated Atiku's personality. He said a lot of things. Atiku could not be trusted. He has a tendency to be corrupt. He can sell Nigeria for his own personal gain. He has his background. There's something shady about his background. Stuff like that. The book is there. People bought that book. And we've looked at Atiku from the picture his boss painted, because as at that time, Atiku and Obasanjo, they were close. They were like boss and employee. So we believe that his judgment of Atiku was excellent. So there is no way we can trust such a man. The man that came here and tell us that is endorsing it because he has apologized. He has repented. If he repented to you, have you forgotten that the same man that you spoke elaborate about his tendencies to be a bad person was the vice president of our country, who in one way or the other was alleged of bribery or something. Like he couldn't give out contracts to foreign companies without taking bribe. You can check Alibotin scandal. The another case partner, his case partner, Jefferson, is in jail right now. He backed 13 years imprisonment in US. What happened to our own partner in Nigeria? He's even celebrated. Now, if Atiku went to Obasanjo and apologized to him on a personal note, did Obasanjo rewrite that book? Did he tell all of us that bought the book that, excuse me, on page 100 and this and that I spoke about Atiku, please, I want to rewrite it? What happens to our kids that have already got those books in their library? How would they amend it? What kind of person is Obasanjo to the growing generation, to the coming generation? Is he to be trusted? If you want to analyze Obasanjo very well, you can tell me that during Obasanjo, he used military and EFCC and DFCC to terrorize anyone that is opposed to his opinion. Ribadu will go after them. Maybe that time you didn't know things as we did then, because we're young, we're in university and stuff like that. He actually used EFCC to hunt his political enemies down. Did you remember how he used minorities in the House of Assembly to impeach governors like Alamisi Adari, Ladoja, and Fayoshi? Minorities. He even used his presidential power to declare state of emergency in Ekiti State. The same person is now telling us that Buhari is not good. Buhari is like Abacha. Who is like Abacha? Do you remember someone they call Baba Dedibu in Oyo State? Could you remember how Baba Dedibu operated in Ibadan, when Ibadan became a political war zone? Because he was directly empowered. Many times Obasanjo would go to his house. So he empowered him to do and not do. Do you understand? Do you know a sitting... did you remember that a sitting governor was kidnapped? Chris Ngige. was kidnapped. A sitting governor. Do you remember this? The massacre, the raising down of two particular, Odi and Zakibian in Bayelsa? How he killed all of them, all the people there. Did you remember that? Did you remember that under the administration of OBJ, our own dear Bolage was assassinated? Chief Ari Marshall was assassinated. The national vice chairman of PDP South, Chief Aminu Sari Dikibo, was assassinated with one single bullet by agents of the state, by DSS. All those things under Obasanjo. Imagine if Saraki is the Senate president and Obasanjo is the president as at now. What do you think will have happened to him? Did you remember how many, almost about 3 Senate presidents were impeached in 4 years? He used his power. He even used our money, our Nigerian money, to even campaign. He ridiculed our constitution, something that was not in the constitution. He pissed on our constitution that he wanted third term. I have friends in the House of Assembly. I have brothers, let me say brothers in the House of Assembly, then, who came to tell us that they shared social amount for all of them. This is not news. That Obasanjo wanted third term. The Senate president, all the people that didn't want him, what did he do to them? He instigated their impeachment. The same man is the one telling us that Buhari is Abacha of our generation. Who is Abacha between the two of them? All this assassination and everything. My own concern is this. My fellow youth, election is here. These people, I'm not saying you can't choose who you like, but think about something. The era of, I've never talked to anyone in Nigeria who said the 16 years of PDP was the best. The only thing they were saying is that APC has not delivered them from the hurt, the pains of 16 years of PDP. Most of my friends, that is their offense against APC or PNB. That this present administration has not delivered them. Okay, it has not delivered you. But he has not actually taken you to the promised land. But he has taken you out of the grips of plutocrats. But he has not taken you there. It's just, for example, it's just like the children of Israel. They were delivered, they were in Egypt. In Egypt, they were suffering. Why? They were working for other people to benefit. Some people were getting richer, like our yesterday Nigeria, where some super rich people getting super rich every day. The poor are getting poorer every day. You left Egypt, and there we have a dream of getting a new Nigeria. We came with the slogan change in 2015 to deliver us to the promised land. But now we found ourselves in the wilderness, which is, there is no way you want to translate from being a slave and being a lord without passing through wilderness. Ask any country. America had civil war. Even in the United Arab Emirates, there was a time they even ran to Nigeria to borrow money in 1978 or so. But today, they are borrowers. So they are lenders, no borrowers anymore. So every country has their history. Are we going to say that because we are in the wilderness, we should go back to Egypt? Are we going to say because in the wilderness there is no food, there is too much of mosquito, there is no water, there's this, there's no that? Okay, Israelite, the same thing that happened to them is what is happening to Nigerians now. In the wilderness, in Mount Sinai, when Moses went to take the plate of the law, they were shouting. Before he came back, they chose their own God for themselves. They said, take us back to Egypt. It's better for us to die in Egypt than to die in the wilderness. It infuriated God. It got God hungry. What happened? Those people were cursed that they would not enter into the promised land. God will not take them back to Egypt. But rather, he said, okay, instead of me taking you back to Egypt, begin to wander in this wilderness. Your children will see it. To be honest with you, I posted something on my wall today. I said, we rather dwell in wilderness than going back to Egypt. People were saying, so this, and I said, if you say it's by rigging, We rather stay in wilderness than go back to Egypt. When I say the word rigging, I quoted it on my Facebook. I didn't mean to rig election. I mean, God himself, instead of taking the Israelites to Egypt, he killed, land opened and swallowed Abraham, Dathan, and Korah. He swallowed them. He killed some people. Some people got to die for the vision of Israel to be realized. Do you know that the kind of caucus, the kind of opposition that Buhari is receiving now, do you know who are the people instigating all these propagandas? Is Jubril, he did this, he did that. Do you know? The people like Obasanjo, whose oil rig certificate, all this oil, whatever that is taking, their license will not be renewed. All the people that always benefited from the federal largesse, who no longer have that access, they are ganging up against Obasanjo or against Buhari. That's the reason why they want him to change. And that's the reason why Atiku is making an open declaration that I will enrich my friends, so that those people, those Kabak, can continue to be strengthened and throw their weight behind him and begin to incite the hungry masses who don't even know what's next, suffering from. I don't want to go into that. Now, it is better for you when we say, let's say Nigeria is in the position of wilderness now. I agree there is hunger. Let's say we're in the position of in wilderness. In wilderness, you will be skillful. You will begin to look at plants that are edible, that you can eat. You begin to think that if you break this rock or if you dig this ground enough, there can be water. It brings the skills in you. It makes you, it brushes you up. It brings you will no longer be dependent on your slave masters, but instead it will build you up. It will make you dependent on yourself. Let me tell you, no matter how bad Nigeria is, do you know people are making millions from their own skills and businesses that they invent for themselves? They only need to look at the situations on ground and look at what they can add. Look at what the problem they can solve. But because we are used to easy life, we are used to living outside our means. Let's say you are a teacher. You have 4 wives. You have 16 kids. Your salary is about 25,000. You are living in a house of almost about 250,000 a year. When time comes for you to pay rent, you have a political brother somewhere that you go to that is going to give you money. Now the money is not coming because the political godfather is not getting money from anywhere. He's only living on his constitutional allowances. So he is no longer sharing money like before. So you will no longer have that ease of life. We are being forced to live within our means. That is what people abroad, that is what they do. They have to live within their means. If you know your salary is 100,000, you will know the kind of house you're going to stay. You will know that every month you have this bill. But in Nigeria, it's not like that. As young as I knew when I started buying cars, when I was even a student. Was that the normal life? Did my father buy it for me? No. That was the Nigeria that we're coming out from. It is not the Nigeria that we want. We want everybody to be responsible to the building of Nigeria. Let's support Muhammadu Buhari for the second term. The nation is on the right track. Look at the infrastructural development. No economy in the world thrives without infrastructural development. Look at the rail, look at the Lagos, Ibadan rail, underground tunnel, stuff like that. Those are the things that brings advanced economy. Road, light, those are the things. Not about thinking of how to enrich other people, how to enrich some set of citizens. Let's think about this. I'm sure that Nigeria will be great. I believe that Bobo, as he always call it, Bobo will be our president for the next 4 years. He is not the Messiah, like I said, but he's just like John the Baptist. He's going to prepare the way. He's not going to hand over. We Nigerians will not allow thieves to come close to our treasury again. Let him continue to save our money for us, even if he doesn't know what to do with the money. Let him continue to save it. By 2023, the youth will have the chance, unlike now, because by that time, Atiku will no longer be available. All those ruling class, Obasanjo will no longer be active. The youth will have been empowered. The youth will have maximized their political strength and political experience. So we will challenge. So let this man be there. The little we are saved, do not let people, some selective few come, take it away and read themselves and become super. And become to decide what happens to the fate of all of us. This is just my own opinion. And I believe, I want us to think about it. I am not saying Buhari is our savior. He might be the one to prepare the way for the person, the people, the youth, the young minds that understand the current generation, that could lead Nigeria to the jet age that we always see in the sci-fi movies. But let him be there. He will not spend our money. Trade money, all those things. He says, trade, how can you be sharing on 10,000 for people and this and that? Do you know that there are some people far, far, far in the village, even in the city, on the street, that 10,000, if you give them 10,000, it can settle them. It can continue to provide food on their table for the next 10 years. Because they know the value of every kobo. Unlike we. If you say 10,000 is nothing, it means you do not know the value of one kobo. But they know. They know. So do not contempt 10,000 for people. Don't say 10,000. No. Your grandmother in the village that is selling corn, selling vegetables, what is this? What is the startup capital? Or the total cost, or the total, even plus capital plus profit? Do they have up to 10,000? No. Let's support Buhari. Let him lead, let him continue for the 4 years. Let him continue. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. Later I will talk. We don't finish.